Hey everyone, it's Orange here, and today we need to talk about something huge. JD Vance just dropped a political bomb at the Munich Security Conference, and let's just say, people are not handling it well. You know that awkward moment when a friend tells you something brutally honest, and you're not sure whether to thank them or punch them? Yeah, that was basically Europe's reaction to Vance's speech. So, what exactly did he say? And more importantly, is he right? Or is this just a massive diplomatic headache waiting to happen? Let's break it down. What did JD Vance say that got everyone so riled up? Vance stepped up to the podium and basically told Europe, "You guys are way too dependent on America for security, and that needs to stop. Your immigration policies are a mess, and it's making everything worse. Russia and China? Sure, they're threats. But your biggest problem is your own internal chaos." Out. This wasn't just tough love, it was borderline intervention energy, the kind of speech where half the room is furiously taking notes, and the other half is trying not to throw things. And honestly, he wasn't entirely wrong. Now, if this were just another round of US officials telling Europe to step up their defense spending, I'd say, okay, we've heard this before. But this was different. This speech felt like a breakup text, except instead of "it's not you, it's me," it was more like "it's definitely you and we're kinda over it." Vance wasn't just nudging Europe to do more, he was signaling that America might actually start pulling back, and that's a big deal. Think about it. If the US really dials down its commitment to NATO, then what? Does Europe step up and build its own serious military force? Or do we start seeing cracks in the alliance, with countries scrambling to figure out their own security? If America stops being Europe's security blanket, does Russia start testing the waters? Ukraine is still a war zone. Eastern Europe is nervous. Putin is watching all of this unfold like a hawk. And what about China? If the US is focused on its own backyard, Beijing might see an opening to expand its influence in Europe. Basically, this wasn't just a spicy speech, it was a warning shot. So what do you think? Is America right to step back, or is this a dangerous gamble? I'll be honest, there were moments in this speech where I thought, okay, he kinda has a point. Yes, Europe has relied too much on the US for defense. NATO exists because the US pays the lion's share. Meanwhile, some European countries are still not hitting their defense spending targets. Yes, immigration has been a huge challenge. It's a complex issue, but pretending it's not causing political and social tensions is just ignoring reality. Yes, Europe's biggest threat might actually be itself. Political divisions, economic struggles, public frustration with leadership. Sound familiar? At this point, it's less about whether Vance is wrong and more about whether Europe is actually ready to hear it, where I think he's playing with fire. That being said, there are parts of this speech that made me go, whoa, slow down there, buddy. Downplaying Russia? Bad idea. Ukraine is literally at war. Putin has been testing NATO's patience for years. This is not the time to start questioning Western unity. Acting like NATO is just an optional subscription, risky move. Sure, America is footing the bill, but pulling back too fast could send the wrong message, not just to Europe, but to every adversary watching. Dropping this bombshell in public? Come on. These are the kinds of conversations you ease into, not the kind you drop like a plot twist in a TV finale. So here's the big question. Is this speech the wake-up call Europe needed, or is it just going to push allies further apart? Okay, so what happens now? Look, I get where Vance is coming from. America can't keep playing world's policeman forever, but if the US starts stepping back, Europe has to be ready to step up. If NATO weakens, what's the backup plan? If the US prioritizes domestic issues, does that leave room for China and Russia to expand their influence? And if Europe doesn't react fast enough, do we risk losing the stability we've spent decades building? Honestly, I don't have all the answers, but I do have some questions for you. Do you think Europe can handle its own security without the US? Should America keep leading the Western alliance, or is it time to pull back? Was Vance right to call Europe out, or was this a reckless move? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's talk about it.